Have you ever done DMT?
What don't women understand about men?
Cheeseburgers.
Everyone and their mother are aware of this egghead, whether it be from his podcast that specializes in DMT and chimpanzees, his career as a UFC broadcaster, or his appearances on TV in Fear Factor or News Radio. But did you know that Joe Rogan's true passion comes in the form of stand-up comedy?
There's another 1% that freaks me the out that no one's talking about. That's the 1% who leave comments on YouTube videos.
Yes, for those unaware, Joe Rogan is a comedian, or at least he tries to be. In today's video, we're doing a deep dive into one of the world's most famous men, specifically questioning if he is actually funny or if people are just putting up with and laughing at his jokes because it's Joe Rogan.
I wasn't really very funny.
Wait until the end for the official decision. We're analyzing everything related to Joe Rogan's humor. Stuff I guarantee you have never seen before. Let's get into it. Let's start with his stand-up routine, the jokes themselves. If you were watching a comedy special that involved Mr. Rogan and closed your eyes for just a couple of minutes, you wouldn't even think you were watching stand-up. You'd think you'd ended up on some weird YouTube rabbit hole that combined Animal Planet and a compilation of your mom and dad screaming at each other.
And they just limp, purring away. He's just sitting in his car going, the government, and my ex-wife, and everybody. I'm gonna do this! Yeah!
The material itself and definitely watching his bald head light up like a tomato can be entertaining, but is it really funny? If you ask me, he's kind of just banking on shock factor and forcing people to laugh with all of the screaming, cusses, and eccentric behavior.
Why don't you that baby on the bottom of a TV, Pocahontas? Go rinse it off in river water and hide the placenta from the wolves!
But you have never seen anything like these next clips. We're exposing Joe Rogan as a stool sexual.
His whole body just erupts. A real comic with a real reason to that stool.
I promise you this is not AI. A famous bit of Joe Rogan's is stool humping. It's a part of his crazy please laugh at me acting a fool antics. Again, I don't really think that this is some comedic genius up there. He gives off vibes like that one class clown back in middle school and high school, willing to do anything for validation via laughs. And even fellow comedians would agree with myself, better yet, on Rogan's podcast.
Anytime I saw someone miming having sex, pumping air, I would just go, not funny.
No.
As a man of integrity, though, Rogan debates this opinion from Jeff Garland.
Stool, if it's the right bit, can be funny.
Yes, he will take a bullet for that stool. He truly loves it. I'm starting to think we're watching a romance. That's pretty much all there is to Joe Rogan's stand-up. Unfortunately for me, I've had to sit through some of it to make this video, but I did it so you don't have to. I think that overall Rogan is probably a great guy to be around, and I think that his funny side really comes out when he's just kicking it with people on his podcast rather than on stage.
Who is the most hated man on the internet?
His name is Hunter Moore.
Brandon Schaub just went like this. Whew.
I remember this guy.
See, he does have a funny bone in him, but I cannot get past that stand-up routine, which brings up the question if Joe Rogan even understands what comedy is. To me, it's the Dave Chappelle's or Louis C.K.'s of the world, basically just riffing off of anything and bringing the crowd to literal tears. To Rogan, it seems like a collection of poop, penis, sex, and overall obnoxious jokes. Aside from what we've already seen, nothing encompasses that more than Joe Rogan's appearance on Kill Tony, a live comedy show that Rogan turns into a serious podcast.
Yes, big fat they're lions, killing water buffaloes with their face.
All right.
When the female tiger is in season, the male tiger will her 52 times a day. Lions is like slightly less.
Reminder that this is a comedy show. I've never seen a special comedic guest make a room so quiet. Don't take it from me though, there are several comedians who are outspoken or who have fell victim to Rogan not understanding what is funny.
Rogan's notorious for not getting a joke.
You have Shane Gillis telling a satirical joke that I thought was funny about his SNL firing.
If I get fired here, whatever, I'll just go do Joe Rogan next week and I'll be fine. Anyway, I thought that was funny. No?
What?
Or Theo Von dropping a bomb.
You know those powdered wigs that old dudes used to wear?
Wiggers, I think they called them.
No, wiggers are white people that wish they were black. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
These guys played it off well through the awkward silence, but Hardo Joe is frequently a prime example of how to let a joke go over your head. All right, so we've looked at his comedy, we've heard how others perceive and interact with him. It's time for the official verdict. Is Joe Rogan actually funny? Maybe. Does he get some laughs? Yes, and even sometimes from myself if I'm ever watching his podcast. But with his massive influence in today's world, is he really this comedic sensation that deserves all of these Netflix specials and headliners? Are you watching for the jokes or for the celebrity? Or are people just smart and throwing him a bone in order to reap the obviously massive benefits of being friends with Joe Rogan? I'll leave it up for you to decide. The last thing I'll say is, Joe, I didn't mean anything I said in this video. Please let me on your podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We will get there one day. I promise you that. I'd love to have you a part of that journey. Also, please feel free to comment below if you think Joe Rogan is actually funny or not. Also, please comment below what you want to see next. I'll leave one of my latest YouTube videos beside me here if you want to keep this train rolling. But anyways, hope you have a blessed day. Goodbye now.